Namaste. Welcome to Yoga Bliss with Shelly, and I'm Shelly. Welcome to day, is that right? Or is that backwards? 12 of our yoga challenge. Today's practice is yoga when you're feeling frustrated. Do you ever feel frustrated? Does life get ups and downies? Do you feel like you don't have enough time for yoga, or you don't have enough time for the things that you know make a difference in your life? Let's make yoga a part of our daily life. So that's Jack. Back on up to the mat and tuning into this Vajrasan variation. This is that variation, which is also known as the hero's pose, where we can take it at there's different ways to do this. So crisscrossing the arch of the feet and sitting the booty back into the feet. If that doesn't work for you, if you do not have the extra mobility or flexibility, you may also grab a pillow. You can put the pillow here and you can drive the sit bones back. Feeling what it feels like in your knees. The knees can be together, or you can make them a little bit more dropped open. So just checking in with your body for that variation that works best for you. For me, the best variation for me that works good is my feet are very clean. Big toe touching big toe and the booty all the way down. I don't like to wear shoes. I like to walk around the block with the kids without shoes on, so you can really tell that. So setting up for a Vajrasan variation that works for you. If you can't get comfy in any of these, you can also choose to just be up on the knees, like so. Taking a moment to tune in. I'm the best recorder ever. I'm trying to get a really good focus for you. Taking a moment to breathe a breath into the heart center. Expand at the ribs, fill up the space around the ribs, and let your jaw melt. And let it go. A big breath into the heart space. And dropping that jaw. And melting. That's my son. And letting it go. And if you are one of these people, if you followed yesterday, and I've been hearing from some people that breath makes them feel anxious. In yoga, we actually use breath to tie breath pranayama into our breath and our body. Not right now is not the time. No. Go draw a picture. But if this doesn't work for you, yoga is still for you. We can find different ways to tune in. You can tune inside of the body, maybe into the beat of the heart. Maybe you can resonate just sitting with the beat of the heart. And tuning in for an intention. Setting an intention for a practice to decompress, to let go when we're feeling super frustrated, because that totally happens. Those frustrations come and they overwhelm. And this happens when we zoom into the future and we get stuck in the past. So letting go of those frustrations, tuning into a tabletop position on all fours, releasing a starfish wide open hand. Exhaling, arching the back like a black cat on Halloween. Inhaling, dropping the spine. And if breath is not your jive, then really tune into your spine. Tune into your hips. Feel what that feels like in your hips, in your spine, in your neck. Feel what it feels like inside of this body of yours. Exhaling, the right leg long and trying to create a straight line with your body. Inhale, tucking the knee up to the chin. Exhaling, allowing that foot to come straight out. Inhale, tucking it in, taking the opposite arm, hugging it in, coming in for some bird dogs, finding that straight line of energy. You're tuning into the body or the breath. Inhaling, joining ourselves. Beautiful. Maybe when I'm all done. Inhaling. Not right now. Exhaling. My son is really into putting my earrings in for me, which is really sweet, but not right now. Put my earrings up. Inhale, tucking in, feeling that inner strength. Exhaling. Softly cutting through a side horizontal slice. And just feeling what that feels like in that body. Exhaling. And allowing that leg to cross back and behind. And just feel that stretch on that body. Inhaling, if you would like, slowly turning that hind foot and opening the arm up in the opposite direction here. As you're opened up in this opposite direction, you have the option to bind here. Still doing your best to keep your weight. My foot is kind of dropped on the front, and I'm mostly on my knee and on the pads on my hind foot, and it feels super good here. And maybe if that feels good, kind of swaying and walking that foot. Maybe like a little sundial, tick, 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 a little clock ticking on the lower hands and the corners. That feels really good. And maybe dropping that foot, keeping the top of the foot and the side of the foot, high line low, open, and just feeling what that feels like here in the glute and the booty. Maybe taking an opposite direction, stretching the arm up, soft bend to the arm here. Tuning into letting go of frustrations, allowing yourself to be here in the moment. Whenever anything in life, when we can just drop into the moment, take a breath, and be here, we can kind of let it more organically flow. Exhaling that leg, maybe wiggling out the ankle and tucking that in. Maybe wagging out the tail here. Taking a movement that feels good for you. Toes touching toes, dropping the knees wide open to the mat for a Baktasana, a devotional pose here. Allowing your forehead to sink onto the mat. And just feel what that feels like in one hip versus the other. Often we want to rush and get the next movement complete, or we can't just like settle and feel what it feels like. Not right now, buddy. And just let yourself settle and feel what that feels like within your body. Inhaling to rising up. Exhaling the opposite leg, creating that straight line of energy. Really coursing that core strength up. He's going to do it. He's going to put my earrings in no matter what. You can do it, Jack. Good job. He's really good at it, actually. Inhale, tucking. Look, he literally just put in my earring. You're really good at that. These are my Buddha knot earrings. They're really pretty. Do you want to go show them what my earring looks like first before you put them in? Exhaling that leg long. Look at this. Pretty. Hold it back a little bit. Yeah, they're very pretty. They're a Buddha knot. Really feeling the strength from the back of the hamstring and the calf. Inhaling, tucking, exhaling, and releasing the opposite arm for a bird dog here. Creating that straight line of energy. And if you would like, you can take a dynamic variation, or if you would like, stay static and still and challenge your balance. Really tuning into that hip if it's trying to fly up. Keeping both hips facing down. Big, beautiful breath into the body. Thank you, Jack. Jack's really good at putting in my earrings for real. Thank you, Cupcakes. That was so kind of you. Good boy. Inhale to tuck. Exhale to lengthen. Inhale to tuck. I don't know when your turn. Oh, they're in the office. Exhale to lengthen. And slowly and mindfully cutting a horizontal line in the opposite direction. So if you can see here, coming in, which it's super challenging, but feeling that strength of that body and holding there and just being where you are. I'm gonna come back this way and being okay with whatever that feels like to you, and slowly journeying, allowing that foot to drop back down onto the earth and kind of dropping down on that front leg, opening up the hips, opening up the arms, soft bend to the straightened out leg. Just feeling what this feels like, letting go of frustrations, cultivating fresh, clean energy here. Beautiful work, my friends. Beautiful sunlight in this room. I'm so grateful for sunlight and natural light. I love natural light. Exhaling, coming to that tabletop and slowly walking that leg the opposite direction and see if we can find that opposite twist in that body. So just walking that foot from the back of the leg to the front of the leg, And whatever feels better for you, you can tune your foot forward or in, and just feel what that feels like. Trying to do a little reverse here, a little twist around of the spine here. Twisting the spine. Twists are so detoxifying. They help cleanse and clear out our insides, which we all need that. Exhaling to neutral, and then just ticking your little clock. Going clockwise, really using the strength from the booty. I don't know. And around, ticking your clock. Feeling that strength in the leg that's rooted. That is our breakfast. It's oatmeal and it is ready. That's okay. We will get it in a minute. Our oatmeal. We made oatmeal bake for breakfast. Exhaling and tuning the hands into Adho Mukha Savasana, a down dog. P.S. I'm super excited. This is my new Kali inspired mala. If you have been following me, I created a Kali painting and I traded out some malas for my painting, and the energy is absolutely amazing. Exhaling and really rooting down with the wide open starfish hand, grounding through the pointer and the thumb, and pressing those sit bones back. That necklace, that did not work. And really driving the sit bones back and walking out your dog here. And just feeling what it feels like. That's okay, buddy, I'll get it. What it feels like in your hips. And walking out your dog here. Really tuning into the elbows, hugging the elbows together, slowly rolling the biceps, and allowing the body to rock forward here. Kind of like a plank with a high booty. Exhaling back. I did this in my personal practice this morning and it felt so good. Rocking forward, keeping that booty up and the core tucked in. Kind of posting up on the tippity toes. Exhaling. If this feels crazy for you, you can stay down on your knees and just feel what that feels like. Exhaling back. My oven's being a wacky banana. Feeling what that feels like within that body, cultivating strength, letting our frustrations go. When we get so focused on the bad in our life, we don't remember the good. So let's hold the good and what is good in our lives. Exhaling forward. There's never a dull moment in my house. Inhale to rise. Exhale to sink. And slowly allowing your body, however that looks like to you, you can put the knees down or you can allow the body to sink down to the earth, coming in for a cobra, a soft back bend. Lifting up, starfish hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, twisting from side to side. Feeling what that feels like in that spine. Letting go of those frustrations. Exhale, putting that booty back. Inhale, coming in for a chaturanga variation. So we actually do have a ball, but I don't know if my dog's gonna bite me, but let's try this. I always say rolling a marble, and I've never really tried this. So not envision, you can envision, or if you have a small ball, really tune into the arms. If the arms want to wing out, hugging them in and rolling. Watch this, a ball, but my dog might try to get me. And my son, rolling, rolling, rolling. It's really challenging. Rolling. It's way harder when you're actually rolling and then coming to the belly. We go tell Milo to turn off the oven for mommy. Inhaling, coming up for, hey, can you get off at me? For that Bhujangasana, the cobra. Inhale, rising up, in, tuning back on those sit bones. And whether or not you have a crazy toddler on your back and the oven's beeping at you, these are the moments when it's like the mind is like, just give up. Why are you even doing this? It's so frustrating, but there's a reason. Go have brother. There's a reason. So tuning into this, my beautiful friends. Exhaling the arms long with this ball and this crazy guy and that ringing. Moving that ball with the nose. Really hugging those shoulders, those elbows in. It's really hard. He weighs like 45 pounds, you guys. So it's a lot more challenging. Inhale, rising up. Off the back, please. And tuning in for just a breath, taking a Bhaktasana or a devotional pose here. I'm going to turn off my oven. So coming into Bhaktasana or devotional, really driving the sit bones, back, opening up the legs wide, allowing the hands to have a wide open starfish hand. A wide open starfish hand, and just be here in this. Oh my gosh. No, thank you. So from this Baktasana, crazy day. See, life gets frustrating, so you still have to do yoga. Dog, kid. And then allowing that body to sink forward on the tummy. Exhaling the arms behind you. So a few different options here, my friend. We're gonna come in for the bow pose. I'm trying to think of it in Sanskrit, but it is escaping me. It's one of my favorite poses, and it can be super challenging. So let me give you a couple of different variations.
Hey, Mom, stop.
Oh my gosh, my people are making me feel crazy. Go, please, out of here, Jack. Go, out. Scoot, go find your brother. You may go upstairs now. That's how I feel with that guy right now. What is all over you, Jack? He looks like he has Nutella all over him. He's being a cuckoo banana sandwich. Exhaling the arms back. Sorry for all this cuckoos. Option to put the forehead on the earth, chin on the earth. You can either go side cheek to side cheek. I really want you to explore what feels good for you and your body. The first option is going to be to rise up using the core strength in the glutes and the booty. No more ball, Joey. No more ball. No more ball. Option to be up here and swim. This is the first option. Second option is bending, creating a 90-degree angle, extending the feet like the ceiling is coming down, and your job is to push up on the ceiling. I know sometimes my feet have a tendency to point and arch up, but just doing your best to keep them down. Hugging the thighs together, but creating space. Option to stay here and feel what this feels like. Or the deepest option is going to be option to grab behind the ankles on both sides, really hugging the thighs together, elongating, grounding through the belly and the hips, and inhaling and raising and squeezing in at the shoulder blades, keeping a soft bend here at the elbows, and just doing what feels good for you in this beautiful bow. So this is the bow pose. I just envision pulling back a bow, strong, strengthened. I know some people like to rock. It doesn't feel super good for me. So if you like to rock a little bit, try. And if it's a little challenging, you can let your body just sink down for that lovely peak pose. It's a pretty awesome pose. Let your body find a little stillness. And one more. Bending, grabbing behind the ankles. Inhale, raising up. Feeling that spine. Oh, it feels so good. Opening up the chest and the front body and compressing the shoulders here. Squeezing the glutes, the booty, and exhaling down to the earth. Amazing job, my friends. That feels so wonderful. Slowly and mindfully exhaling the hands into a wide open starfish hand and pressing up to that downward facing dog. And whatever this looks like for you, you can walk your hand or hop forward into a forward fold and slowly rising up to Tadasana. Tadasana is the mountain pose, grabbing into the four corners of the feet. Stepping that hind foot back. Hind foot, big toe facing the edge, the corner of the mat at a 45-degree angle. Exhaling, bending that front knee forward. Hands on the hips, hips going facing forward. Exhaling the arms straight above for Virabhadrasana 1, a warrior, beautiful strengthened warrior here. Option to stay here in your warrior or to find a little more of an act in. Letting go of frustrations, one of my favorites is Simhasana, the lion's breath. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, sinking in. I'll show you, my friends. In your Virabhadrasana, inhale, rise. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, deepen. Being aware if this front knee is wanting to fall in or out and finding integrity of that knee. Inhale, rising up. Exhaling. Wonderful work, my beautiful friends here. Exhaling and slowly straightening out that front knee and that high knee, making this beautiful triangle shape here. Keeping the hands on the hips facing forward. Option to fly the arms back, hinging at the heart, at the hips. Coming in for a pyramid pose. Option to keep the arms fly back. Options to fly at the sides. Or options to interlace the hands, palms kissing palms. Soft tuck to the chin, removing the wrinkles. And creating that straight line, that straight spine here for a pyramid pose. If you want to put a little bit of a bend to the knee, you can actually bend the spine a little bit more forward. Whatever feels good for you in your body. So again, if you have a straighter leg, keep that straighter spine. But if you want to bend that front knee, you can feel free to bend it, and then you can follow with the shape of your spine here in this beautiful pyramid. Think of a pyramid. A pyramid is like a triangle. The triangle is known to be one of the strongest shapes, the foundation. It is larger, and then it comes to this beautiful point. In yoga, to me, it's connecting the mind, the body to the soul. Inhale, raising up. Exhaling, both feet facing forward. And relocating that front foot and walking that front foot over to the side. And I just got a free one, like a woo, an energy buzz. So whatever you're feeling, let your body feel it and experience, and just take a breath. Take a minute of stillness to kind of get you back to where you need to be. Placing the opposite foot facing the short edge of the mat and relocating the hind foot facing the outer corner of the mat. Coming in for that warrior again. Hands on the hips, hips facing forward. Envisioning yourself or feeling yourself almost ripping the mat apart here. Bending that front knee, releasing it over the ankle here. Whatever that looks like to you, peeking out and just seeing that big toe. Raising the arms up to the sun here. Option to just stay in this static, beautiful strengthened warrior. Letting go of our frustrations. We're going to tie on a little bit of a Simhasana, lion's breath. Inhale, rising up. Exhale. Inhale, rising up, squeezing, cactusing the arms together. Really focus on opening up the heart and squeezing, compressing the back body. Inhale, rise. Get that anger, frustration out, my friends. It does us no good to hold it in. Inhale, rise. Let it go. Allowing those arms to float down to a T. Straightening out that front leg. Exhaling, keeping both hips facing the short edge of the mat. Options to fly the arms for a pyramid. Options to let them fly back, fly to the sides. Or tuning in for a soft bind, interlacing, palms kissing palms here. If you choose the bind, I encourage you to feel your chest open in the front. Feel your shoulders in the back, compress. Big breath into the heart. Hinge, leading the hips down to the earth here. And again, there's another option to keep that straighter spine and straighter front knee, or bending a little bit that front knee and bending forward for this beautiful strengthened pyramid pose here. Beautiful work, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with me through this wacky practice. I know my life is beyond perfect. I don't think any of us is perfect, but this is my real life, and I am making myself get my butt on my mat, and doing this challenge is just the best way that I can do that. Feeling what this feels like. Option if you want to take a little bit further, rising those arms up, really squeezing, feeling the burn, cultivating a little bit of strength, that Shakti, that energy from within, allowing it to rise up, and slowly releasing, and coming up to standing, both feet facing forward. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe to standing, coming to Tadasana, and I invite you to feel what it feels like inside of your body. We often in life, in yoga, in practice, in pretty much everything that we do, we're so rushed from one moment to the next moment, and we don't take the time to feel what's inside. Feel what it feels like within your body. Hello. Feel what it feels like to be here. And to finish up, we're going to do a few little Qigong movements. I love the practice of Qigong. If you don't know much about Qigong, it's just this ancient Chinese practice, and there's some really awesome moves. So the first one's going to be just to shake. Shaking. You can begin by shaking your left hand. Shake at the wrist. And you can't care what anyone thinks about you or what you look like. And it is going to be, it's a pretty intense, you let go and just shake that wrist out. And then allow it to work up here. And don't care if you're feeling a little flabelloni, we're all strong within. Just shake and feel what that feels like. Move your awareness into your other hand. This is almost like that pencil trick when you're a kid. It almost looks like it's not real, moving that hand around back and forth, but just let yourself feel what that feels like, and then maybe add both hands in. Shake both hands. Now ground into the earth with your right foot and pick your left up. Do your best to keep integrity of the spine. This hip likes to drop out, and just shake that foot. This can be really tricky. It reminds me of a dog shaking its leg out like, I have an itch, ah! But just let your body try to find integrity while shaking that foot out. And just feel what this feels like. You might have seen, I see like, there's like UFC fighters or boxers who shake, they shake, or swimmers in the Olympics. You will see swimmers, they shake and they hit their muscles. And you're just you're really loosening and relaxing those muscles. Exhaling, grounding the left foot into the earth and shaking the opposite foot. Right on. Shake it out. Now inhale and just shake everything. Shake the arms and bounce. Let everything just shake. And I feel my butt cheeks are clapping together. Woo! A little booty dance and just shake it on out. You can shake your head a little bit. You just breathe it on down. Let it come down. We don't always have to lay down on the earth to find a relaxing movement. Just shake it, shake it, shake it. This reminds me of the Black Eyed Peas. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Old school song from many, many years ago. Maybe, I don't know if you know that song or not. Allow yourself to shake it down. And then slowly, still rooted into the earth, allow the arms to slowly sway side to side, twisting, inhaling, twisting. So really trying your best to root into the earth with your feet, but you can even twist. You can feel what it feels like to twist at your hips, or if you want to keep your hips still, and feel what it feels like just to twist your arms. For me, it feels better to give my hips, get my hips going. And you take your fists, and you're almost like hoi, like oi. Maybe like a Tarzan, like a oh, but it's almost a soft pat. You're not beating yourself. But in Qigong, there's all these different meridians on our body, and when we tap on these parts of our bodies, it's a deeper way of healing, a deeper way of loving ourselves and awakening what's in us. So you can choose to do the tapping, or if that's not really resonating with you, you can just allow your arms to just kind of go. This would be more like the free movement, would be more like a free interpretive dance. You can throw your arms up. I love dancing. But I encourage you to try this little pat. It feels so good. Now slowly allow your arms to travel up higher. And you can almost give a little lift and give yourself a little pat. So you're raising up kind of on the outside of the breast, the pec, and then the ribs. If you can see that, it's going to be a twist like so. Up higher. And you can drop to your knees if that feels good for you, but just letting that torso twist, and you can feel it up higher in the torso. For me, it's not as much in the lower sections, and just let that body be free and fluid like a corkscrew. Beautiful work, my friends. You're doing a wonderful job. And slowly allowing those arms to travel back down. Travel back down. Breathing, twisting. And slowly and organically allow your body to find stillness. And get your feet as close as you can. Not as much as hip distance, but get them as close as you can where you feel comfortable and rooted. And allow your hands to rest at your sides. And in Qigong, the practice, it is envisioning yourself swaying like a bamboo reed in the breeze. What would that feel like, the breeze is blowing, using your breath? And you're slowly blowing. Maybe really rooting your legs and only moving your shoulders. And slowly and organically allowing your body to find stillness here. Allowing the hands to rest out, kind of like in Tadasana, just a little bit of a narrow stance. And just feel what that feels like. Tuning in to that intention. Allowing ourselves to not be as frustrated. I don't know about you, but I am feeling much less frustrated with my life and my crazy people. If you tuned into this whole practice, you're amazing, and thank you. But it did get really frustrating with my kids and my dog and the alarm, the beeper. But then look at us now. In life, there's never really one experience or moment, rush or rise of feelings or emotions that we have to experience forever. There's this ebb and flow. And when we can just trust in the process, we can allow ourselves to truly start living our lives. Bringing your hands, palms kissing palms, to the heart center. Exhale, allowing the hands to stretch up. Floating down. Let's do one more of those big deep breaths. Kind of a Qigong yoga inspired. Inhale, raising up, collecting clean energy. And bringing those hands back, palms kissing palms. Just feeling all the good and tuning into the good. Inhale, rising up. Tuning into what is good instead of what is frustrating or annoying in our lives. I am so grateful for you, my beautiful friends. I'm so grateful for the practice of yoga. And I'm so grateful to just show up. There's some more frustrations. My little Barkety McBarkerton dog. But thank you for showing up. I'm so grateful for you putting up with all of my crazy shenanigans. But this is real life, and yoga is real life. You can still do yoga and have crazy stuff going on. Yes, it is ideal to go into a studio and find your Zen on and get your Namaste on. And I love going into the studio and just really tuning into me. But the reality is if I want a daily practice, I have the daily practice around these wackadoodlies. Because when I wake up earlies in the mornings, I more want to do other things like paint or write, and then I want to move my body a little bit later. So I love you. I hope that you are finding value to this. And if you like this, please thumbs it up and subscribe and share. Share, my friends. Please share with people that you love or people that you think might have a little bug, a little interest in yoga, but they're not quite sure. I used to be one of those. I used to be like, yoga, I could do it or not. And now I'm like, yoga is just a part of my daily life now. And that's what I'm really hoping to share. I love you so much. Namaste, friends.